I'm Ellie, and this is Lily. Do you know what are the smallest living things on Earth? Yes, the answer is cell. I study what are the cells and microbes. Microbes are living things that usually have just one cell. Now, introduce more about amazing cell and microbes.
First of all, cells are very important in our body. Also, there are cells in animals' body too. Inside an animal's body, there are cell membranes, cytoplasm, and nucleus. The cell membrane is like a skin around the cytoplasm. It holds the cell together. It also stops other substances moving in or out. Inside the cytoplasm, many important chemical reactions happen. In some of these reactions, chemicals join together to make new substance for the cell to use. The nucleus controls what happens inside the cell. Inside the nucleus, there is a chemical code called DNA. The DNA code controls what an animal looks like. Secondly, as animals, plants have cells too. Around the outside of cell membrane of every cell, there's a cell wall. The cell wall is made of cellulose fibers. Plus, the strongest plant cell walls are in wood from trees. Additionally, cells divide in half to create new cells. For example, the skin cells divide to create new skin tissue to repair breaks in the skin when animals cut or hurt themselves. The new cell nucleus has a DNA code from both parents, half from the mother and half from the father. So when the babies grow up and become an adult, they look similar with parents. But there are some differences from each person. Lastly, antibiotics are drugs that doctors give you when you are sick. Antibiotics work by killing or stopping bacteria reproducing. But antibiotics cannot kill virus, but white blood cells can kill them when they break out of cell. When a virus gets inside the body, the white blood cell remembers it. So the next time they can find virus more quickly when the virus gets inside the body. When a doctor injects a vaccination, people get well. Vaccination is good to people, but we have to be careful before virus get inside to our body. We have to wash our hands clean. It is the simplest way to protect our body from virus. I think cells and microbes are very important and indispensable to us. It is very miraculous that cells divide new cells. Most of people don't like injections, so some of them wash their hands clean. Injections are not that hard and afraid things, but it is pointing. So hating injections hating injections are natural thing of a human's instinct.
I introduce different types of microbes. Some live in water, in air, or in soil. Others live on or inside the body of other living things. Amoeba. An amoeba lives in wet places like ponds or soil, and is tiny that is smaller than a grain of salt. An amoeba can make its body any shapes. Diatoms. Diatoms are microbes that live in water. Many live near the surface of the ocean. The diatom's cell wall is different from the cell walls inside a plant. Bacteria. Bacteria are microbes that live everywhere, and there are many different and many shapes, such as spear-shaped cocci, load-shaped bacilli, and spear-shaped spirochetes. This moves in different directions to help the bacteria to move around. It is surprisingly supportive of our bodies. After you eat, some of bacteria in your stomach help your body to break down the food into sugar that your cells can use for energy. To help the useful bacteria in your stomach, you should eat more food like fruit, vegetables, brown bread, and brown pasta. It is surprising fact that people use some bacteria to make food. People usually use lactic acid bacteria to make food like soy sauce, sauerkraut, and kimchi. For example, when making kimchi, Bacteria eat the sugar from cabbage and make lactic acid that prevents cabbage from spoiling. This gives kimchi a sour taste. Microbes are very important in our life. I was amazed at microbes which is common around us. Microbes in the sea, our body, and food. I thought microbes were very dirty, but they are useful. If they are in the world, our world will be salvation. They are necessary in our world, and I love it.
Cells and macros may seem insignificant, but they are useful. If cells and microbes are not in our world, our life will change. And thank you for listening to our presentation.